Test. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Where are my scrubs? That's how I did it. I know. Could have done something totally different. Hopefully this doesn't cause any immediate effects. Sort of. A new kind. Yeah, a new kind.
You let me know when. Thank you. Are we on? Are we live? We're good. Thank you. Welcome to the City Council meeting for the City of San Juan Bautista, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025 at 5:35. Calling the meeting to order. Councilmember Aranda, will you please start us off in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Here.
Councilmember Frios, Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, Mayor Jordan.
Here. Thank you. We will be going into closed session on a conference with legal counsel for existing litigation, Orozco versus the City of San Juan Bautista et al., California Government Code Section 54956.9D1. Do we have any public comment on this?
Nobody in chambers, Madam Mayor, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you very much. We are adjourning to closed session until 6 p.m. Thank you. For the city council meeting of the City of San Juan Bautista, it is 6:02 p.m.
Facebook first.
I'm sorry.
Can I do my
Oh,
phone
sorry.
system
My bad. I didn't wait for the, whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Thank you.
I got nervous. There's people here.
Whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the city council meeting of the City of San Juan Bautista, Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. It is now 6:03. City Attorney Giffen, will you please take us out of closed session?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council and public. The City Council met in closed session at 5:30 to address item 2A, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Orozco versus City of San Juan Bautista, California Government Code Section 54956.9D1. The council heard from the city attorney, and there is no reportable action.
Thank you. I would like to now ask permission from, or from the council to add a proclamation to the agenda for the San Benito Health Foundation 50th anniversary. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please? Oh, sorry. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Councilmember Morris Lopez. May I have a roll call?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I'd like to now open it up to public comment.
Michael Ponce, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Michael. Welcome.
Hello, Michael Ponce, 803 First Street. Yeah, so I would like to read a statement that I hope to have been read at the last city council meeting, but apparently I didn't read the rules correctly, so I would like to read it again today. And it was under the appointment of city manager. And I wrote, unfortunately, I'm attending another local meeting now, but I would like to voice my support for Miss Ashley Collick as our newest city manager. We need a doer to complete major projects in San Juan Bautista. I have always said that the sewer and water projects are the biggest projects in my lifetime here in San Juan Bautista. It seems that major projects are happening quite often. Incomplete fire protection service project needs to be finalized by the end of this year. Our historic downtown needs to be saved as we continue to lose businesses, seems like every month. I believe creating the cleanest historic downtown on the Central Coast, if not California, would be a goal of any city manager. If Miss Ashley Collick is willing to be the doer that San Juan Bautista needs, let's hire her. If the city council does choose to hire her, I look forward to working with her and helping her in any way I can for many, many years to come. And it seems that you did hire her, so congratulations, and I look forward to working with her. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Valerie England? England, sorry. You have 3 minutes?
Yeah, no, welcome to San Juan. We're a little expedient.
That's right. You're all familiar, most likely, with the Dancer Trail.
Is your microphone on? Green button? Or green light?
Oh, good.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Duly noted time. Yeah, well, Reach San Benito Parks Foundation has been working with all the parks and trails in San Benito County. That is our mission. And so the Anza Trail is very significant. If you came out to the historic event we had in October with dedicating the old stagecoach issues on the trail, because the trail itself that is used today was not there when the Anza expedition came through. But it is an agreement between the national parks and San Juan Bautista to acknowledge that history. But it is a significant source of exercise for city and outer residents. And you'll have people come from Monterey, from the other side, from Salinas and Gonzales. If you're walking and you go to the Monterey side, you'll normally see somebody coming from there going this way. So we have planted 3 oaks of significant size that need to be kept alive for the future of a shady area. And there's one on the right-hand side behind the improved rest station, we'll call it.
Hmm.
And last year, when we planted it, was in September maybe, the city graciously provided a water truck to go out and thoroughly soak the trees after they were planted. So at this point, we have been carrying 5-gallon bottles and it's not really effective. So we would like to petition San Juan to help out in that way. We've also spoken to Steve Loop with Public Works about clearing the roadsides going out past Leon, headed out toward the trail anyway, to try to clear those road edges more so that people in San Juan have a better opportunity and feel safer and more comfortable walking in that direction. And right now the grass is tall. Last year we were able to muster up enough money to pay somebody to help. And then we also threw our own labor and money in there too. But this year the county doesn't have too much resource, but we're working on getting that done. So that's my public comment, and I appreciate it if you consider that and let us know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mariah Cardenas?
Hello, how are you today?
Hi, good, welcome.
So this is our first time here, my husband and I. We live in Rancho Vista for about 3 years now. And so this is all new to us. I do want to put a complaint, or however you would call it. We live in Rancho Vista. There's the Christopher Ranch that's gotten out of control. That noises, all our neighbors have said they've called the police. They've, in the middle of the night, noises come and go, people come and go. You hear gunshots all the time at any time of the day, because I work from home, my husband as well. And we're just concerned for our safety as well. And it's getting out of control that we call the cops many times, and we asked our neighbors like, hey, have you heard them? They're like, absolutely, we call the cops as well. I was talking to Taylor, our deputy that's here now, and he said, yeah, one time I came over because he's covering for somebody and I could hear it all the way from over there. And it was right before 10 o'clock. He goes, but it was excessive. And he went in there, it's a venue. I asked Jose if he could send a letter to the community a couple weeks ago. And in return, I told him I felt it was conflict of interest, because he then sent a letter, and I know that he helped them send a letter to unite the community because they're having an event, which is perfectly fine. All I'm asking is for them to be respectful, and and somebody's renting that place, to my understanding, works in Daisy's, and they're subleasing it with her husband, and it's out of control because they're subleasing it for major parties. One, do they have a license? Two, why has anybody done anything? It's affecting our community. What are you going to do what are you guys going to do to help us? And I'm sorry I get upset because nothing has happened. And we don't know where to go to. And I can get a whole bunch of signatures. I can get a whole bunch of people. They didn't know about this meeting. So we're like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and go. So at this point, I don't feel nobody's on our side. And I do feel, I'm sorry, Jose, that I feel that is for you. I see you, and cars come and go really fast. I've seen Jose and his little thing too, not to say anything bad, but I'm very transparent. And I saw you in the beginning, we did feel that you were helping us. That's why we voted for you. And then now it's like, I see you mingling over there with them. I see you hanging out, and that's okay. If they're your drinking buddies, party buddies, it's okay. But just be respectful, And now I don't feel we can come to Jose, that we trust him, because there has been no response. In the beginning you did. After, it looks like you've been hanging out with them. Now I don't feel like there's no support. And I feel there is conflict of interest. I'm just here to see what you guys can do for us. And I think my time's up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Seeing no other speaker cards in chambers, Madam Mayor, but I do have 2 hands raised on Zoom.
Okay.
Marcus Mendiola, you have 3 minutes.
Marcus, hi, welcome.
Hi, thank you. My name is Marcus Mendiola. work for the Colorado Valley Water Management Agency. A few months ago, I invited the city council to a event that the Colorado Valley Water Management Agency, my institution, is putting on. This is our second workshop of 5 workshops funded by the Department of Water Resources. The name of the program is the Pajaro River Watershed Resilience Planning Effort. San Juan Bautista, my hometown, is a part of the Pajaro River Watershed. And I'd love to have someone from San Juan Bautista come to our next workshop to advocate for San Juan and to advocate for the interests of San Juan Bautista. Our first workshop was in Aromas, not too far away, and it was a bummer not to see anyone from San Juan Bautista. Our second workshop is even easier to attend. It's in Zoomland, yeah. So it's online. You could go to our website at pvwater.org and click on the About page. And under the About page, you'll see the website that I have made for the Watershed Resilience Planning Effort, Watershed Resilience Program. And then you could see the Zoom link and the click to RSVP right on that homepage. This second workshop is prioritizing vulnerabilities. The third workshop will be back in person on August 20th. We don't have a location for that, but put it in your calendar. Workshop number 4 will be prioritizing adaptation strategies in October 23rd. And then that final workshop of presenting our draft Watershed Resilience Plan will be next March, on March 3rd. So hope to have San Juan Bautista and people from San Juan Bautista come to our Watershed Resilience Planning program and prioritizing vulnerabilities. If you get to be a part of the plan, then hopefully we could get Prop 4 funds. That's the hope. That's the goal. That's the dream. Prop 4 funds are going to start getting allocated in the next few weeks to months. The $10 billion Climate Smart bond that was approved last November. This $2 million of funding for this program was funded through an act of the legislature. But there is some whisperings of Prop 4 helping to go from planning to implementation. So, really would love to see people from San Juan Bautista at the next event. We had 75 people at our first event. It would be great to beat that number because it's even easier to go to Zoom land than it is to go to in-person land. Thank you very much.
Marcus, before you leave, can you please tell me the date and time?
Sorry, I talked too fast. That is, maybe I didn't even say the date. June 10th is workshop number 2.
Thank you.
June 10th, 9 to noon, prioritizing vulnerabilities. The agenda is on our website, pvwater.org/PRWRP, or just go to our website, pvwater.org. June 10th, 9 to noon. It's remote. You click on the registration for the event.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Chris, Guy Perez, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Chris. Welcome.
Wait, sorry. There's not a full house tonight. I'll just wait till next month.
Okay, thanks.
And seeing no other hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. We have a couple of proclamations. Which one do you have? Oh, okay. All right, we'll just go in order. Thank you. LGBTQ plus Pride Month, June 2025. Ooh, I'm scrolling. Whereas the City Council of San Juan Bautista recognizes and proclaims the month of June 2025 as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer LGBTQ+ Pride Month throughout the city of San Juan Bautista. And whereas the city of San Juan Bautista joins to observe Pride Month with a pride flag raising ceremony to honor the city of the LGBTQ+ liberation movement and to support the rights of all residents to experience equality and freedom from discrimination. And whereas the rainbow flag is widely recognized as a symbol of pride, inclusion, and support for social movement that advocates for LGBTQ+ people in society, And whereas the city of San Juan Bautista is committed to supporting visibility, dignity, and equality for LGBTQ+ people in our diverse community. And whereas this nation was founded on the principle that every individual has infinite dignity and worth. And the city council calls upon the people of San Juan Bautista to embrace this principle and work to eliminate prejudice everywhere it exists. And whereas celebrating Pride Month influences awareness and provides support and advocacy for the Pride Month LGBTQ+ community, and is an opportunity to take action and engage in dialogue to strengthen alliances, build acceptance, and advance equal rights. And whereas the rainbow flag will be raised on June 1st, 2025, recognizing all LGBTQ+ residents whose influential and lasting contributions to our neighborhoods make San Juan Bautista a vibrant community in which to live, work, and visit. Now, therefore, be it resolved on behalf of the San Juan Bautista City Council, we do hereby proclaim June 2025 as Pride Month in support of the LGBTQ+ community. Thank you. Historical Preservation Awards, Councilmember Morris Lopez, yes.
Good evening, everybody.
Speak way into your mic.
Way into the mic. Okay. Okay. So this says, Dear members of the Historic Resources Board and Planning Commission, in May of 2012, the Planning Commission implemented a program to recognize property owners and businesses who made significant improvements to their properties that enhance and maintain the overall area and help attract visitors to the city. Their guidelines for selection are the Secretary of the Interior Standards for the Treatment of Historic Properties, in quotes, intended to promote responsible preservation practices that help protect our nation's irreplaceable cultural resources. Attached is a list of previous honorees. Because these are historic properties, the Planning Commission asked the Historic Resources Board for its advice, based on the recommendations by the San Juan Bautista Historical Society. The Planning Commission, and I'll just take a moment, is there anyone here in the audience from either the Planning Commission or the San Juan Bautista Historical Society? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, thank you, Ms. Bonk. Okay, the Planning Commission is asked to approve the selection by resolution tonight, and formal recognition will be made by City Council at their May 20th meeting. That's us. Staff will send letters to the property owners congratulating them and inviting them to appear at the City Council meeting. For your review and approval, the San Juan Bautista Historical Society nominates the owners of the properties below for certificates of recognition for their investments of time, talent, and treasure. The first one is a private building, historic building, and this is known as the Geraldo House at 609 3rd Street. And I believe we have the two owners present tonight, if you want to raise your hands. Mrs. Cara Vonk and Mr. Irvin Fegley. The house is at 609 3rd Street and is a vernacular wood-framed hall and parlor type of home built in 1860 and is fairly typical of a working man's cottage. Historic character defining features include the side gabled roof, the full width front porch, one-story massing, symmetrical facade, along with the facade's door and windows, the porch, balustrade, and other pre-1908 fenestration, which have been preserved. At least 4 additions were constructed prior to 1908. All of these changes have acquired historic significance in their own right and have been retained and preserved. Property owners Cara Vonk and Irving Fegley have painstakingly repaired rather than replaced salvaged redwood for missing siding and decomposed plank floors, installed a foundation, there wasn't one before, stripped the entire exterior of lead paint and repainted twice, installed new wiring and plumbing, and restored all the interior rooms and more. The second building is a public building. This is the Robert Thomas Nyland Building, City Hall, of which we are all seated in tonight. At 311 2nd Street is a 1957 one-story late Spanish colonial revival type. This building was donated by the Nyland family, descendants of the Breens, in honor of their son, a casualty of World War II, and is an excellent example of a later Spanish colonial revival in a public building. Its long, low lines, scale, massing, and materials tie it effectively with its neighbor across the street, the Mission San Juan Bautista. City Hall is an important element of the continuing historic fabric of San Juan Bautista. Recent maintenance and improvements include replacement of the red Mission roof tiles in 2018, interior and exterior painting, and most recently, the lighting of the council chambers has been upgraded to LED, which is adjustable with different light spectrums and intensity depending on the conditions. These property owners have modeled responsible stewardships of historic buildings that welcome visitors and residents to historic San Juan Bautista. The many character-defining features of these structures have been preserved, and the rehabilitations have extended the economic lives of the buildings and enhanced the historic ambiance of authentic San Juan Bautista. Thank you for your consideration. Ms. Wanda Goubert, President of the San Juan Bautista Historical Society. Is Ms. Wanda Goubert here tonight?
No.
Nope. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor?
Yes, if you would please present, and if, Cara, you would like to say something?
Well, thank you for this honor. It's been a labor of love, to put it mildly. I've gotten a lot of help along the way, including Jackie's husband, Greg Morris. He's helped us with plumbing and wiring and things of that nature. We've done everything with building permits. Yay.
We thank you for that.
And hopefully the house will last another 165 years.
Oh, that's
Into what would that be? 2185 or something like that. I didn't do the math. So,
Jackie, we can't hear you.
Kind of check it out when Greg was working on it a little bit.
yeah.
And then recently, a couple of years ago, when they finished the living room, and I guess would it be like the family room with Irving's big screen TV?
Yes, we have a TV room,
Yeah.
believe it or not. It
Yeah.
used to be a little bedroom or
But
something.
anyway, it's really
Thank you.
great. Thank you.
You're all welcome to stop by and we're happy to
Nice.
give you a tour.
And a glass of wine.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask.
Oh,
Thank you very
wow.
much.
Oh, that's
Thank you.
beautiful. Can I show the people at home?
Yeah. That's good. Just, yeah, right there.
Okay.
Wait, nope, keep it
Oh.
there.
Oh. Oops. Oh, I see it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks very much.
Ashley.
Appreciate it.
Thank
And-
you.
And May is National Historic Preservation Month,
Oh,
in
great.
case that wasn't mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoy the building.
Thank you very much. I'll hang it in the office.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda, you have Older Americans Month.
All right. Older Americans Month, June 2025. Whereas the city of San Juan Bautista is home to many older Americans who contribute their time, wisdom, and experience to our community. And whereas San Benito County had the third fastest growth rate for people over 65 in California counties in the 2020 census. And whereas aging is a dynamic process that leads to new abilities and knowledge to share with our community. And whereas communities benefit when people of all ages, abilities, and backgrounds have the opportunity to contribute and live meaningful lives. And whereas the city of San Juan Bautista recognizes the need to create a community that offers the service and support, offers the services and supports older adults may need to make choices about how they age. And whereas the city of San Juan Bautista can help to flip the script on aging by identifying and challenging harmful stereotypes about aging, starting and continuing intergenerational conversations that empower older adults, embracing a can-do attitude towards combating ageism, emphasizing the growing older means, geez, today I cannot read. Emphasizing that growing older means living fully, not slowing down, celebrating our community's diversity. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Leslie Q. Jordan of the City of San Juan Bautista, hereby proclaim May 2025 as Older Americans Month and urge every resident to celebrate the contributions of older adults, to reaffirm our commitment to creating an inclusive society and to embrace the many opportunities that come with aging.
Thank you. Wayne.
Mayor Jordan, can I say a couple words?
Absolutely,
My
thank
name is
you.
Wayne Norton, and I'm on the board of directors of the Seniors Council for Santa Cruz and San Diego counties. Thanks, Jose. Thank you for the proclamation. We appreciate it, and it's especially worthwhile and an honor coming from the city of San Juan Bautista, which has done so much for older adults in their community. You have a very active and very effective group of older adults. And over the years, the work that council members have done has been participating in our advisory council for the Seniors Council has been really effective, and it's been very helpful. And we really appreciate how much you care about older adults and their well-being in San Juan Bautista and in San Diego County. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have anybody here to accept a San Benito Health Foundation 50th anniversary proclamation?
Wait, could actually,
No,
let me go.
no, he's on his way to,
he's going to the gala, that's why.
right, to the event. So we'll send that over to them. Oh, what?
There is the health. That's what I'm saying. We could give it to him. He's on his way.
Yeah, he wanted to dash and dine.
So I've been awarded this great honor, and I take pride in this. Full circle, just a little bit about me. I'm a healthcare provider, and my first job as a healthcare worker, as a medical assistant, was many years ago at the San Benito Health Foundation when it was housed in the old Hazel Hawkins Hospital on Monterey Street. And that's where my medical career started. And I actually was born in that hospital many moons ago. We won't go there. But anyway, let me read this proclamation. So I have a little history with that place. It's now located on, is it 4th Street? The current
Yes.
4th Street, yes, the new building. Okay, so San Benito Health Foundation, 50th anniversary. Whereas San Benito Health Foundation was established as a nonprofit organization on May 20th, 1975, and has served as the only federally qualified health center in San Benito County since 2007, providing critical access to care for underserved communities. And whereas the foundation's mission is to deliver quality, affordable, and culturally sensitive health services to San Benito County and surrounding areas with the vision of eliminating health disparities and empowering individuals to make healthy choices. And whereas San Benito Health Foundation provides a comprehensive range of services, including medical, dental, pediatric, vision, wellness, and WIC programs, regardless of a patient's ability to pay. And whereas it is governed by a community-based board of directors, the majority whom are patients, and is staffed by professionally trained individuals committed to innovation, collaboration, and public health leadership. And whereas the San Benito Health Foundation has received national recognition for exceeding quality care standards and is one of the only 4 health centers in California selected for the Licensed Physicians from Mexico pilot program to address physician shortages in underserved areas. And whereas we honor the legacy of the local Latino and farm worker community that helped found the foundation, and we celebrate the dedication of its staff, leadership, and partners over the past 50 years in building a healthier, more resilient San Benito County. Now, therefore, Mayor Jordan, on behalf of San Juan Bautista City Council commend and congratulate San Benito Health Foundation on its 50th anniversary and urge all residents to join in recognizing this milestone to celebrate the contributions of older adults, to reaffirm our commitment to creating an inclusive society, and to embrace the many opportunities that come with aging. Dated this 20th day of May, 2025.
Thank you. I was just going to see if I could text him. Yeah. Thank you all very much. Thank you for your beautiful home. Public hearings, weed abatement. Approve a resolution declaring the condition of certain properties to constitute a public nuisance, ordering the abatement of weeds thereon, and conduct a public hearing for the receipt of objections. Charlie Bodola, Fire Marshal, are you here?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, there you are. Chief, can you, there you go.
There I am. Sorry. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, today's just the second the reading on it. So after this, we'll get the letters or we'll continue on with it too. So if we have any other questions, I've been getting some letters in and looks like some people have been taking care of the stuff, but we'll get out there and get them their other letters to get them compliant.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Questions, comments, concerns from the council, Councilmember Moore or Councilmember Aranda. Sorry, you're on the other side.
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
It's just a question, comment, I guess. Comment is thank you for doing this because it's getting concerning with fire season probably here. I mean, there actually is fire season quite early and quite frequent. So I'm glad that this is being taken care of. My question is, there a way with the fee structure? Because I've noticed that we have a few repeat offenders. And I'm just considering it, like, is there a way that they can be, you know, the fee might be increased due to maybe the times that this has been served to them and the repeat offenders and how long it takes them to act on that? Or do you go out there immediately once they get a letter? That's part of the thing, is that you would act on it a lot sooner than later.
Yeah. So a couple things on that. CAL FIRE, just to let you know, banned all agricultural burnings and backyard burnings, which isn't allowed in the city limits, but there's no burning at all. So we support that too, because in the LRA and the SRA, state responsibility and the local responsibility, because we don't want it to get away. And then second of all, the as far as that goes, in Hollister, code enforcement will go out and start citing them if they don't have it done. So people have had sufficient enough time. Now that you have a robust code enforcement, we can start doing the same thing until they get compliant too. That way they know that, you know, we're being consistent and we want compliance, and it's a life safety issue. So we could get to that point. I could get together with Oscar on that, and then we could start working, going down that list. You know, eventually, like I said, it's an educational process and we've had it long enough, but we really can't take a chance nowadays. I'll see what happens. So I'll get together with code and we'll just start citing them, and we'll continue to cite them until they get done, until we eventually have to get it done ourselves. Hope that answers it.
And so when you say weed abatement, does that also include like tall weeds that are up against buildings? Or is it mostly like in a lawn area or a field area?
So we usually it's only for the vacant lots, but we've taken the proactive approach, and then we're addressing other areas too that have excessive weeds, and that's usually through code enforcement, but we'll work with them to get the letter out and sign it to them. That way it can be declared and they do get the notice, and there is justification. You know, we've given the first notice, we give them the second notice. Let's start citing them and get them to get everyone compliant.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
I'd
got
like
it.
to now, I'd like to now open it up to public hearing. Do we have any public comments?
No speaker cards received in chambers, Madam Mayor, but I do see a hand raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Can you please state your name for the record?
Yes,
D-
it's David Rodriguez.
Hi, David, welcome.
Yes, I just wanted to just make a few comments regarding the weed abatement issue. Can you hear me okay?
We can, thank you.
Yeah. I think maybe a few things that the city could do that actually help improve that is of course cite them, and I like the idea of citing them multiple times and increasing the fee amount, but also maybe promote, just get the word out. Hey, take care of your weeds. More of a public announcement where it reaches maybe like through via Facebook, via social media, Instagram, and people aren't going to see it once, but maybe multiple times, maybe, or even email. So just going through that route and maybe saving the city a few dollars and just maybe just encouraging people to take more pride in their yards, because ultimately this is the whole city is our front yard to people that come see us. And the city could do maybe a little bit better job, maybe taking care of the weeds on the street and maybe talking to people in the community. So that's it. Just wanted to mention that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And no other, seeing no other hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. I am closing public hearing. Any further comments from the council? Councilmember Aranda?
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez?
No, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. I have nothing further. May I have a motion to approve a resolution declaring the condition of certain properties to constitute a public nuisance, ordering the abatement of weeds thereon, and conduct a public hearing for the receipt of objections?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Yes, second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Jose Aranda, seconded by Councilmember Morris Lopez. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. Be safe.
Thank you. I'll stick around.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you. Review and consider the approval of a development permit for a remediation and restoration plan to abate the public nuisance on certain real property commonly known as 451 San Juan Hollister Road, APN 00255000080 in San Juan Bautista, as directed by the City of San Juan Bautista City Council, Resolution number 2022-81, approved on October 25th, 2022. Attorney Giffen.
Yes, thank you. Would you like me to conduct the hearing from here or from the?
Oh, no, right there is fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. As you just said, the council is being asked to review and consider the approval of a development permit for a remediation and restoration plan to abate the public nuisance at 451 San Juan Hollister Road tonight. My name is John Giffen. I'm the city attorney. I do have other panelists tonight, those being my colleague, Tom Jameson, who has a very broad experience and depth of experience in environmental law. We have representatives from David J. Powers and Associates. I know Fiona Fung is on. I don't know if Shannon George is on, but they are here to answer any questions. We have counsel for the property owners, Alicia Guerra and Matt Kelly of Kelly Engineering as panelists tonight. We do have a very short PowerPoint. First, we're going to just talk a little bit about the timeline that we've been operating under
Uh,
since.
Excuse me,
Octo-
Attorney Giffen, I'm sorry. Can you please bring the microphone a little bit closer?
Closer? Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Since October 25 of 2022, um, on that date, the city council approved a resolution declaring that the Orozcos did unpermitted grading and other site work, and that work constituted a public nuisance pursuant to California Civil Code Section 3480, and it violated the city's floodplains ordinance. Those municipal codes are there in the PowerPoint, sections 12-1-080 and 12-1-210. That resolution, same resolution, further directed the property owners to seek approval of a remediation and restoration plan to abate the nuisance. Since that time, October of 2022, the city and the property owners have been engaged in, they had a dispute really as to what the remediation plan and the violations, the scope of those violations, trying to get together and work it out. They were unable to do that, and litigation was filed, and it is currently pending. In fact, the in that litigation, there's a dispute resolution process, kind of like a mediation, where the parties have come together before a magistrate judge, and the magistrate judge has ordered the parties to finalize the remediation plan, the remediation and restoration plan. So that really occurred, that order occurred back in the fall of 2024. And the court and the parties came up with a plan to move forward, whereby the property owner would complete the restoration, the remediation and restoration plan. In January of 2025, they submitted the plan to the city. After its preparation, there was quite a bit of work done out at the site. The remediation and restoration plan was prepared and completed with the assistance of the property owners consultants. That was EMC Planning Group, Kelly Engineering and Surveying, and the plan was also worked upon by the city consultants, David J. Powers and Associates, H.T. Harvey and Associates, Albion and Schaff and Wheeler. So we now have the remediation plan in place. Next slide, please. And we're here tonight to consider and determine whether to approve a resolution that approves the property owner's remediation and restoration plan to abate the public nuisance on the property and approves a development permit for the property, subject to certain conditions which are set forth both in the staff report and as an attachment to the remediation and restoration plan. The development permit that you're being asked to consider and approve includes that remediation plan, the project description for the development permit, and certain conditions of approval. And one more. I wanted to talk a little bit about the remediation and restoration plan, a couple of highlights. The identified remediation and restoration areas are rather limited. They run in two strips along the northern and western boundaries of the property. Together, they comprise about 1.9 acres. Loose dirt found in the remediation areas will be returned to the restoration areas, and the remediation areas will be hydroseeded and stabilized. So everything's going to be put back together as it was before the violations occurred. There will be a compensation for the losses of riparian vegetation, at least at a 1-to-1 ratio on the project site. There will be protection of the San Joaquin kit fox, burrowing owls, other raptors, nesting birds, and nesting bats prior to and during ground disturbance and throughout the construction activity, as was recommended by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department. All ground disturbance activities associated with the implementation of the remediation and restoration plan shall be monitored by a qualified professional and member of the local Native American community. The plan is all subject to specific conditions that include those that are typical of any development permit that's issued, but also go further than that. And some of those are as follows. The applicant must, among other conditions, comply with all terms and measures of the development permit and remediation and restoration plan, sign an indemnification and hold harmless agreement to protect the city, obtain an encroachment permit for any work performed in the city right of way, obtain a grading permit for the site, including drainage provisions and compliance with flood zone elevation requirements, enter into a maintenance agreement with the city for continual maintenance of the landscaping and irrigation system for all landscaping and irrigation installed on the site. It will be subject, some of the conditions will be there to reduce noise impacts, limit construction noise and the time that they're out there, limit the construction hours. And the neighbors, especially those within 300 feet of the construction activity, will be notified at least 30 days prior to any construction act or other activities. And the city will select professionals in their field to monitor the activities under the remediation and restoration plan to ensure they are performed as required. So that is a broad view of the remediation plan, what you're being asked to consider and approve tonight. I would invite I ask Mr. Jameson, Tom Jameson, if he's on, if there's any addition to the presentation that I just gave. And if nothing from Mr. Jameson, then I would ask Alicia Guerra, the counsel for the Orozcos, to contribute to the extent she deems necessary. Tom?
Mr. Jameson, you're on mute.
You unmute yourself. There you go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the City Council. My name is Tom Jameson, and I'm an attorney with in John Giffen's office. And I think he has well stated the process that has taken place and where we are today. There's been a lot of work on this and a lot of review by the city. And I certainly believe it's in a position to be approved at this point. So thank you.
Thank you. Hi, Ms. Guerra, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor Jordan, members of the City Council. My name is Alicia Guerra. I'm a land use attorney with Buckhalter, and we represent Mr. and Mrs. Orozco concerning the abatement of the prior violations. And we have been working hard in the last few months, working with staff, and greatly appreciate their efforts to work with us on preparing a remediation and restoration plan to address the prior concern, the prior fill against the berm. The remediation and restoration plan incorporates all of the measures that the city's consultants had requested be incorporated into the plan, as well as the measures that Mr. Giffen reviewed as conditions of approval. And with all of those measures incorporated into the plan itself, it truly is a restoration plan. And it doesn't have any significant environmental impacts because in fact, it's actually restoring the conditions prior to the work that had occurred on the site. So it's basically putting everything back as it was before the work occurred. And in that regard, there are no significant impacts. Everything has been addressed as part of this plan with the intent of restoring the property. And so we greatly appreciate your consideration of our plan. We look forward to being able to move forward, and our clients look forward to being able to have the nuisance order lifted, the red tag lifted, so that they can continue to conduct the use of their property as they did prior to the nuisance condition. We thank you very much, and if you have any questions, we have Mr. Kelly, the engineer, who has prepared the plan, and Mr. and Mrs. Orozco are also here. They're available by Zoom. And again, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from the council?
I just wanted to say I'm just happy to see that we're moving forward here. I'm definitely in favor of moving this forward. I'm glad that we finally are coming to terms with the restoration and remediation. So great work on city staff on making this happen, and our city attorney. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes, thank you. I too agree with Councilmember Aranda's sentiments. Moving forward, I am in agreement with the plan. However, I have one small question regarding one of the stipulations or agreements. It's on the conditions of approval, item number 5. It says the applicant, which would be the Orozcos, shall enter into a maintenance agreement with the city for continual maintenance of the landscaping and irrigation system for all landscaping and irrigation installed on the site. So question being, what type of maintenance and for how long? And what type of landscaping? I thought we were restoring this to the original site prior to the, the mitigatable features prior to what it looked like before. And I don't recall any landscaping, so I'm not quite sure about that. But also the question of how long will the city be in agreement for maintenance of such work?
If I might comment on that from the applicant's perspective, and then maybe Mr. Giffen and Mr. Jamison could also comment. It was our understanding through the restoration remediation plan that there's a period of time for hydroseeding and for restoring the vegetation in this limited 1.9 acre area of disturbance, and that would be the limited area for any maintenance, for any limited landscaping, and it's really for purposes of restoring the condition to its prior vegetation. There's no landscaping other than that, because as you noted, we're just putting things back to where they were before the dirt was moved. So it's our understanding that the period of maintenance would be determined by the length of time it takes for the hydroseeding to take, for the vegetation to take. And in my experience for restoration efforts, it can be, depending on the season in which you conduct the hydroseeding, it can be a matter of a few weeks to a matter of a couple of months, but you want it to be established. And the purpose was to establish it for habitat that existed previously, as well as for erosion control. And Mr. Kelly can comment on the erosion control measures incorporated into the plan if you have further questions about that. But that was our understanding.
Thank you for that
Well-
explanation. So it would be as close to possible of the natural plant and vegetation that was out there prior? Is that my understanding?
That's our understanding from the biological resources evaluations that were performed.
Okay, thank you.
Tom Jamison here. I want to expound on Ms. Guerra's explanation, actually. And she's right. The landscaping really refers to the riparian vegetation. And those are riparian trees and what grows around, water courses. Actually, there's a provision in the plan that calls for 5 years of monitoring and, or up to 5 years of monitoring, and the city will be responsible for doing that with the applicant. And the irrigation also will want to take place, but that's what the plan is focused on. It's reestablishing some of the riparian vegetation that was removed by the prior actions, and want to make sure that that riparian vegetation is in fact, thriving over a period of time. So that's my understanding, and Mr. Giffen may support that.
Yeah, I do. That there is a provision to plan for up to 5 years. And so we'll make sure that it conforms to what that existed before the violations took place.
Last question. So what does that translate into fees? Fees paid to the city, or is it incurred in the settlement?
Most of the fee issues will be addressed within the litigation, and there will be, once the permits is issued and we move down the road, we'll get back in front of the judge and be talking about fees. Welcome.
Thank you. I'd like to now open it to the public hearing portion.
Madam Mayor, I have 2 speaker cards. The first one is Joe Schmetzton.
Hi, Joe, welcome.
Good evening, my name is Josh Maston. I am one of the property owners that backs up to this truck yard. During the 2023 storm, they had built berms that caused problems with the natural water flow. And the berm they had built was against the creek, and they actually filled in part of the creek. And if you look, there's, besides the dirt they pushed from their property, there's concrete and everything else. It ended up flooding our property. We got nothing out of it. I had to fix all of our own fencing. When they came over, all we got was dirty looks, like it's our fault. There's multiple property owners here tonight that I'm sure you'll be hearing. They brought in over 50 bottom load semi trucks of dirt. Where is that dirt going? You guys want to approve this. Do you actually know what the property looked like before they destroyed it and caused the water damage? When they got the permit, we were told that it was going to be a trucking company with pallet storage. For over a year, we listened at 4 a.m, nail guns going off for them building pallets. It's not a truck storage yard, it's a wrecking yard. There's more broke down trucks and parts around there than there is running vehicles. All these old broke down trucks, are they leaking fuel? Are they leaking oil into the ground, into our groundwater? There's more to this than just rehabilitating and throwing some seed on. Where's all the dirt going? The dirt they hauled in, where did that come from? Did anyone do soil samples? There's more to this than just, here we go, let's make it pretty and hope it goes away. I would hope that they would do something and look more into it to stop the flooding of all the neighbors and damage that they've caused to our other neighbors, let alone the RV park. When it flooded in 2023, luckily I had my own backhoe tractor and the city brought their tractor out before it got flooded, and the city didn't have a tractor. So we ended up using all of our equipment to fix the flooding for all the property owners on Mission Vineyard. We had no help, and there is nothing behind it except for the property still a disaster. So I would hope you would look into it, and before it would get approved, show the homeowners what actually is going to get done around there that will not affect our property and that it's fixed properly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Valerie Glenn.
Yes, thank you.
Hi, Valerie, welcome.
Well, needs to be considered neighbors and the flow of the water. That watershed area, as Mendiola said earlier, the whole of our watershed is extremely important. We have watched farmers plow over small river areas, little streams that all collect water that create the best. It's just after me. Just keeps doing that. And so historically, we have lost a lot of the natural water flow that comes from the canyon, which it moves all out in little fingers everywhere. And when we had such a lovely little area, maybe to most people it looked like just a little brush pile along a dirty creek. Well, it's not. And when all that earth movement started happening, everybody in that area, Mrs. Kurosaki, she was concerned, Gallardi, he said, what are they doing to that little creek? We'd been dealing with the little creek along the school, and what are the regulations that have gone on for that you can't use it for a classroom type of thing. And so I think it's a really, should not just be glossed over. It is natural habitat. We have very little of it anymore. And when it is so close to the city, it should be seriously taken. And as he said, the gentleman before, when it comes to restoring natural habitat, it's not like just throwing a few seeds out there, watering them. It's to consider the pH of the soil. How has it been affected by this soil that's been brought in? Is it the same source that was there before? What kind of resistance to water when it comes to water flowing through? Will it create more of a floodplain instead of channeling? And it takes a long time to establish the water flow in a creek or a river, because every season going through, it compacts and compacts on the edges. So you create a channel that leaves it a source of water channeling again and again every year. And it's when it flows over its banks is when you bring the most fertile soils up into the farmland. So anyway, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jim Dassel.
Mr. Dassel, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is James Dassel. I reside at 451 Mission Vineyard Road. I think the remediation plan is pretty well structured, and I think we'll hear more this evening, and we've already heard more as to some of the concerns beyond that. I don't have any problem with the Orozco's trying to conduct business and make a living. It's challenging enough in today's business environment. But that said, I want to move away from the remediation plan just for a moment. Back when the Orozco's originally applied for a conditional use permit, I am certain there were conditions of approval associated with that. I'm not privy to those conditions of approval, but I do feel that those conditions of approval need to be honored. And it's the city's responsibility to follow through that based on that use permit, those conditions of approval are honored. And I would suspect as this remediation plan moves forward, if the city does their proper due diligence on this, they would find that maybe some of those conditions of approval have not been honored. That said, if you take a look at that property, there's considerable blight. There's fire conditions there that Chief Bediola just expanded upon, weed abatement, what have you. So that said, I would ask the city to honor the conditions of approval that were extended based on the use permit of this property. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Mariah Cardenas?
So I don't know, other opportunity. I just wanted to reiterate regarding the Christopher Ranch, and make it clear that, the tenants, they're-
I'm sorry, this is just on the Orozcos.
okay, my apologies.
Thank
I
you.
thought I had another chance to talk.
Nope. Not for this one. Thank you.
Mike and Laurel Brun?
Hi, welcome.
Madam Mayor, council members, persons, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I bring up to your attention a possible landscape.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you speak a little bit closer to the microphone?
How's
It's
that?
hard to pick up.
Sure, how's that?
Thank
Is that
you.
better?
That's perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
my apologies. First of all, we live at, my wife manages the property at 334 Mission Vineyard Road, which is directly south of the property in question this evening, okay? It is an 11-acre horse ranch, okay? I bring this issue up as a possible landscape issue, but also I refer back to Mr. Dazzle's comments about the use permit, okay, and how the property is to be used and maintained. I don't know the dates, maybe my wife can clarify that, but on a particular date, the owners of the property took it upon themselves to trim certain trees in the southwest corner of the property, okay? Because the trees were hanging over their property, fine. Apparently, they weren't satisfied with just trimming the trees. Because the trees had also intertwined with the fencing. They tore down the fencing. No consideration, no notification to us, the owner, okay, of the property, who she represents, about that. As it turned out, city happened to come out there and happened to see this and gave them direct orders to replace this fencing. There was only 2 sections, okay? They had no intention of doing that. Since that time, that fencing has been temporary cyclone fencing put into place, okay? They were ordered to
replace the original fencing.
there you go, okay?
Could you hear me?
I could,
Okay.
but everybody else probably couldn't.
So at that time that it was torn down, they were ordered to replace it within a few weeks. And these temporary gates were put in place. They're still there.
So again, under the consideration, the umbrella of this resolution, okay, I ask that this be considered part and parcel as either a landscape issue or a use permit issue and quote unquote, a good neighbor issue, okay? Because quite honestly, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, city attorney, that was an illegal action on their part to simply remove the fencing without even notification to the owner, okay? Let alone not replacing it. That's pretty much it, okay? Thank you all for your time and your consideration.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, no other speaker cards have been received, but we do have one hand raised on Zoom.
Thank you. DR0DS14, please announce yourself.
Yes, my name is Dave Rodriguez. Just wanted to make a few comments regarding the issue here. Just ask the Orozcos to please do their best to resolve this so we don't have to spend everyone's time to discuss this, and please work together with your neighbors um, to get into compliance so we can move on with life. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, seeing no other hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Closing public hearing, back to the council. Member Aranda, sorry.
No worries. And just to get some clarification, again, we are approving this, these conditions, or we're approving this so that the Orozcos can start the work so that they can do the remediation and restoration, correct? Without this, they cannot even start at all, period.
That's correct. I mean, what you approving their initiation of the remediation plan.
Yeah, so if we don't approve this tonight, then we're still kind of in limbo.
That is correct.
Got it.
And some of the things that have been raised about prior use permits are really not addressed as far as I know, this particular remediation plan. And I don't think our city planner or I'm just not, that was news to me, but I started in 2020. So we haven't addressed that issue. But we will make, I believe in an approval that the prior use permit is also complied with.
And we can add those into the conditions after we approve this, or is that a separate thing?
Notice. I don't know if Mr. James has any comment on issues or
Mr. Jameson, are you there?
you're muted.
Am I, excuse me, am I being asked to speak? I can barely hear Mr.
Okay.
Giffen.
I was just talking about what revealed prior issues that may or may not be applied with in this particular consideration. What we're considering tonight is the remediation plan. We've been working on that for a long time. And I don't know if Alicia has anything about it as well.
Mr. Jameson, do you have any comments on that?
Well, I guess, mute, okay. I guess what I can point out is part of the notice to abate the nuisance. The remediation plan is obviously the major piece of complying with that, but there's also two conditions that require use permits to be submitted, applications to be submitted by the Orozcos. Now, what we have dealt with, because it is the most important element to allow them to start doing some work, is the remediation and restoration plan. But use permit applications will come, and conditions can be well, I mean, it's typical of use permit applications. Conditions can be attached to those use permits, and so I'm sure the city attorney, Mr. Giffen, will be talking to Ms. Guerra about the requirement for the use permits and the submission of the applications in short order.
Just wanted to address that issue.
Thank you. Ms. Guerra?
Thank you, Mayor Jordan. I probably should have reserved some time for rebuttal here because I wanted to clarify a couple of things of a factual matter. First off, the comments about the fence being down and Mr. and Mrs. Orozco knocking the fence down, the fence was down. It was due to the severe storm events that have occurred. So it's not that the property owners were intentionally removing or demolishing anything. In fact, because the red tag has been in place on the property since effectively 2021, 2022, they haven't been able to do anything, which explains why the site is in a condition where there isn't anything happening, where no work can be done. So to Mr. Jameson's point, the reason we started with the restoration and remediation plan first to put the condition back to the condition prior to moving the dirt against the berm was so that they could have the red tag lifted and then undertake the activities that a property owner would then want to undertake or be able to undertake, because right now they can't do anything. And that's been the concern, other than some limited weed removal, for which we received authorization from the city to do that last summer in order to eliminate any fire hazards. Separately, I also want to just comment about the facts here, and this actually has been a subject of the litigation that is ongoing, which is that the Orozcos did not cause the change to the floodplain, and there are hydrology studies that were performed by Schaff and Wheeler demonstrating that. The work had already occurred as a result of prior work that the city and actually the county had engaged in with respect to changing the flood flows that altered what happened in the floodplain. Mr. and Mrs. Orozco, however, moved some dirt up against the existing berm that they didn't construct within the floodplain because of the severe flood events in 2022, 2023. And that has been the subject of the litigation because of the damage that was caused associated with that. Again, today's discussion is not about the prior work. We're just trying to move forward with the restoration plan so that the loose dirt that was placed against the berm can be removed, and the riparian vegetation, as Mr. Jameson noted, and some of the other features could be restored. We do have the actual base flood elevation mapped prior to the placement of the dirt. I can't comment on what the condition was before the city installed the berm that was out there within the floodplain. That's a different issue. That has nothing to do with this issue this evening on the restoration plan. But we have base flood elevations. We know what the condition is. We know how much dirt needs to be removed in order to restore the premises. And that's what this remediation plan does do. So once that work is done, then the property is back to its condition prior to the violation. And the hope is then the property owners will be able to move forward. And to the question about conditional use permits, there are no pending projects today other than this restoration and remediation plan. And of course, we certainly are going to work with the city and as well as with any other regulatory agency for any further work should that be necessary after the restoration occurs. So thank you for allowing me a chance to clarify the facts and record.
Thank you. Do we have any other?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, the remediation and restoration plan requires fencing to be installed all along the property line. So that's a part of the plan. And also, I believe some, it's not really fencing, but it's means of keeping people out of the creek area. So that's good, part of the plan.
Thank you for that. Any other comments?
No more comments or questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I've had a chance to listen to the neighbors in the vicinity of this property, which gives me some pause and concern to just be, approving of this resolution tonight the way it's written, unless I'm assured that the public speakers and neighbors, because it does bring into effect, I understand this is kind of the gate opener so that they can get on the property. And hopefully is the other part of that, get on the property and do the restoration with, but what about the comments that I heard? And I also had heard this before from other council members that are not here tonight. What about the trucks that were sitting on that property leaking oil or gasoline or fluid into the watershed there? What about the dirt that was moved there from other places? Where did it come from? Has it been soil tested? Does it have coccidio spores on it? I mean, what's the nature of all that? So I understand the importance of getting on the property and starting the process, but I too am concerned about this other stuff. And how can we assure that's going to be done?
Thank you. Anything? No?
I would say that there's been a tremendous amount of work done by the city consultant, biologically, archaeologically, and otherwise to address the violations of the city cited the Rocco's for. And here we are at Thursday. And though, you know, that instance really wasn't our inquiry, so I don't have that level. There may have been issues. That's not what really we're addressing.
Yeah, I understand that, but my assurance to the public, and these are concerns that I had, and if I can speak to on behalf of Councilmember Fields, I think mentioned that several times about these trucks sitting on the property leaking out oil and gasoline. And I hear neighbors talking about other things that were brought on, tons of dirt. So is that all part of this mitigation? I know it's about the riparian and the habitat and the kit fox and this and that and vegetation, but how can we be assured if we have to come back with another resolution or tag something onto this, that stuff gets addressed?
The inquiry is about 1.9 acres that have been studied in depth and is going to be remedied by the plan. There are no other citations that we are following the Rocco's to answer. So what we've done is those to abate use now 2022 on those problems and come up with a plan to address them. And that's the scope of the inquiry tonight.
I'm sorry, but I just have to just bring this point home. So it's a good start. And I know that it's taken a lot of work on behalf of the city, their attorneys, and the Orozco's now coming to agreement. But once again, I just feel that this is a partial mitigation of what happened on that property, as we heard tonight, and I don't know how we're going to get to that point or fix it, but I just think it needs to be stated.
Thank you. So I really wish all of you had been here since 2022 to hear all of this information. Tonight, again, before us is just the remediation and restoration for that 1.9 acres. And we, the city, along with the Orozco's, have been working on this for actively for over a year. And right now we're just here to approve the restoration and remediation plan just for that parcel. Everything else goes next. First things first, we have to get on the property and we have to ensure that what has been done to that 1.9 acres is remediated and restored. There's a whole bunch of other permits and plans that come next. And hopefully we'll move forward on those right after this. So before us now, we have to either approve or not approve the development permit for remediation and restoration to abate the public nuisance on certain real property commonly known as 451 San Juan Hollister Road, APN 00255000080 in San Juan Bautista as directed by the City of San Juan Bautista City Council, resolution number 2022-81, approved on October 2025. So with that, may I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second? I'll second it. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by, I just automatically put Councilmember Morris Lopez, seconded by Mayor Jordan. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes, and it's to be continued.
Mayor Jordan,
Yes,
motion carried.
thank you very much. Thank you all who participated via Zoom. Attorney Jameson, Attorney Guerra, and all of those who spoke in chambers.
Thank you so much, Mayor and members of the council. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Sorry, public hearing was closed and a motion was made. Thank you. Thank you. Public hearing C, consider adoption of resolution of necessity to acquire certain real property or interest in real property by eminent domain. This will be continued to the June meeting. Thank you. Administrative reports. Wendy, I'm sorry. Hi. Oh yeah, Wendy, treasurer's report.
Good evening. You have in your board pack tonight the financial report as of March 31st, representing 75% or 9 months of the city's fiscal year. Our general fund revenues are running at 70% for the year to date, and our expenditures are at 69% for the year to date. The net effect is a positive change in our general fund balance of $127,000. Our water enterprise fund is running at 76% for the year to date, and expenses are at 62%. And the positive change in the enterprise fund balance for the year is at $762,000. The sewer enterprise fund revenues are at 77% for the year to date, and expenses are at 72%. The net effect is a positive change in the enterprise fund balance of $758,000.
Thank you. Questions from the council? Councilmember Aranda.
No questions, no comments. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Thank you, Wendy.
Wendy, I just have one question, please. Item B under the revenues budget versus actual, I think it's page 2. Rancho Vista CFD is at 165%, and it says from revenues fence replacement due to flooding 42,000. Is that reimbursable from Meritage?
Well, that would when we do our assessments, and that's in your pack tonight, there is a capital replacement reserve fund that is built up over time to offset any of those costs. But if there are overruns, then we would work with your engineer to determine how to recover those funds. But we had capital replacement reserves to cover them.
Thank you. Questions, comments from chambers?
No speaker cards received, Madam Mayor, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Back to the council. Councilmember Aranda.
No questions, comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No questions or comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Items on the consent agenda. Are there any items aside from I and J which are being tabled to the next meeting?
Madam Mayor,
yes.
if I may, item C is being tabled as well.
Thank you. Items C, I, and J tabled to the June meeting. Would any council member wish to pull an item on the consent agenda? Councilmember Aranda?
None, nothing for me.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez?
No, not at this time.
Thank you. I have none. Is there anyone in the public who wishes to pull a consent agenda item?
No speaker cards received, and seeing nobody come up to the podium, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve A, B, D, E, F, G, and H.
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Morris Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Rhonda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Action items. Proposed organizational structure and staffing plan fiscal year 2025-26 budget prep. City manager.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council and the public. Ashley Colick, City Manager. Liz, can you please pull up the presentation? This this presentation is just to kind of get us ready for an actual budget discussion on June 4th. These are some things that I've been kind of mulling over during my time here as interim city manager. And so I'm kind of making some proposed structural changes to help us be more efficient and effective. So that's the goal. So I'll say that at the onset. So, so my purpose here tonight is to just brief the council on staffing and structural changes, and then ask that you provide direction to incorporate some of the proposed changes into the fiscal year 25-26 budget. And so here's a little bit of the background. As I was kind of going through the organization and looking at the org chart, and also just some experiences that I've had over the last 5 months, the 24-25 org model, it's a very flat model. The city manager is overextended in the sense that I am currently the department head for every department in the city. And we rely quite heavily on contracts. We contract out planning, we contract out city engineering. We are extremely contract heavy. And so some of the challenges that we've experienced is a limited ability on staff development and some inconsistencies in our service delivery. So this is just an example of what the fiscal year 24-25 organization chart looks like. As you can see, you have the council, city attorney, and city manager, and then every department underneath, and it's a very flat structure. And this is kind of a small shot at what I'm thinking about and proposing. And so what this would look like is that you would have the council and the city attorney and the city manager answer to the city council. And under the city manager, I am proposing that we have an assistant to the city manager that answers directly to the city manager, a public works supervisor, and an administrative services director. And then we sort of break down some of those departments into smaller chunks that are a bit manageable. So the assistant to the city manager would keep public safety, the library, and recreation under there as direct reports. And the administrative services director would have direct reports of finance and an administrative assistant. And then under the city manager, I could have kept going, but I didn't because it was just a lot of departments. But planning, city engineering, those departments and contracts would still work directly with the city manager. So here are some key strategic adjustments that I'd like to see in the new fiscal year. One is to create a senior planner position. That right now we do not have a senior planner on staff. We contract services out for that, but we are extremely overrun in our community development budget. And so in order to kind of curb costs, I'm recommending that we hire a senior planner position to support Ilse in her work here as the associate planner. That we expand our code enforcement duties currently to include some building inspection. And that we fill an administrative assistant role that we currently have on the books, but it remains unfilled. And that the primary responsibility for that admin assistant would be to support us in managing our contracts. And then we consider combining or consolidating the library and the recreation department as one community services department. And then I kind of skipped ahead a little bit and I kind of went through this, but so essentially the city manager's direct reports would be senior planner, public works supervisor, assistant to the city manager, and an administrative services director. And then, so just a comparative view, 24-25 is just a very flat structure with a high contract reliance. And then in 25-26, we start to, my proposal is that we make the shift. It's not, it won't be complete for a while, but that we start to add in some mid-management support roles so that we can improve on our oversight and our internal capacity. So here's what everybody wants to know, right? What are our fiscal impacts and cost savings for doing this thing? And luckily, Wendy was super helpful in helping me figure this out. So we're estimating that by hiring a senior planner, that we're going to save about 185,000 in contract reduction. And for code enforcement, we're going to save about 80,000 in inspection reduction. But there'll obviously be some sort of a moderate staffing cost increase to offset those savings. Let's see. So here's what I need. Council feedback tonight. We'll do a refined budget presentation on the 4th. And then on the 17th, we'll ask for final approval and adoption. And with that, I will take any questions that you have.
Thank you, Councilmember Aranda.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for that presentation. Definitely, I'm really liking the structure. One question for me is, from what I've heard, with Four Leaf, we've been contracting them out for a lot of our planning purposes, and I like the idea of bringing someone in-house to support Ilse. I would ultimately like to see all that come in-house, just because we've run into so many issues with Four Leaf. They're costly, and so I really like that idea. So my question to you is that the intent, or you're just trying to give Ilse some extra support?
Thank you for the question, Councilmember Aranda. The goal is to bring our planning services in-house to start in this new fiscal year, and then evaluate where we are with that process. It's a lot of work to bring staff in, and then you have to have the right structure in place to then manage the staff. And we didn't talk about it tonight, but in your packet, there's a huge a docket report on our staff retreat and where we need to go with our internal structures. So all that stuff has to kind of work in concert with each other. So we're taking a very slow, methodical approach to how we staff up. And I'll be thinking about those things very carefully and very slowly, because it truly is going to be a huge lift for us, even in the next fiscal year, to bring planning on board, make sure that our code enforcement officer is trained up and certified to do building inspections and what that looks like.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I really like that idea. I just, it was one of those concerns that we had where, when people, applicants apply for a building permit or something, it takes forever with Four Leaf and there's turnaround times. And so I'm definitely in favor of having it in-house to make it easier. But I definitely understand that with that comes budgets and whatnot. And so that's going to lead into my second question of, you're saving 185K, 80K here. And with that being said, that I'm assuming you're going to apply that towards whatever their salary is. And is there any other benefits that are related to that? And how does that add up? As in, we won't exceed what we're saving, I'm assuming, right?
I'm not sure I understand your question 100%.
So in other words, with the money we're being saved, and you hire an employee in-house, whatever the salary is, they're now an employee. I'm assuming would pay benefits. I'm not sure if we even, so what does that look like? Are we factoring that in as well?
I'm going to defer to Wendy just to double check that question.
Yeah, so those savings that we anticipate are a net savings, will benefit from having the in-house employee that you have now and expanding their roles and responsibilities, but to take those savings and apply them somewhere else, that's not the objective here. The objective is to see that the city is no longer running in the red on these services for community development. And this is a big step in that right direction.
Thank you. Other than that, no other comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Thank you. Yeah, I do appreciate what you're doing to realign the org chart, because I can't imagine that the city manager is in charge of all of that, and that would make it a hard task for anybody. So I like where you're going with the reorganization. I too had a question about the senior planner. I know the net savings or back into our budget would be 185K. Are we looking at a part-time senior planner, or are we at that point of discussing what sort of staffing? 1 FTE or half? What are we doing?
It's a full-time senior planner.
Okay, and I'm assuming that also not spoken, but definitely implied and a fact is that when we have an in-house senior planner, they know the community, they know what the community needs are. There isn't that long delay because the contracted services maybe got other cities they're working with. So we actually have in-house in community that knows what the needs of the community are, which then therefore also expedites payment back to us. Correct?
Yes.
So we get more money.
We're getting more bang for our buck.
That's right. But we also get people to pay if their project goes forward in 2 months versus 8 months, then we get that money 2 months, not 8 months down the road. Okay, thank you. And then also last comment on, I like the idea of consolidating library and recreation, because I had shared with you that I feel like the library is kind of the hub of a lot of community happenings. They have done stuff in the past. They're really good about reaching out to seniors, children, and those are two of the groups of community members that rec is being tasked to reach. There's that tween age, maybe there's like the young adult age, but that's a work in progress. But I think it would be great to have those two entities work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I am in full agreement with bringing those under and having that middle management and have somebody actually overseeing across the board departments that might not have been had that strict oversight. Bless your bones. Sorry. So yeah, I really appreciate the new org chart. I'm in favor of it 100%. Yeah, I like the way you're moving forward. I appreciate it. Public comment? Hi, Cara, welcome.
Cara Vonk. Thank you, members of the council. I have worked with Four Leaf for quite some time. It's been very frustrating, so that is true. However, I've been here since 2000, working on that house that you just gave me an award for. And we have had a lot of planners in those years, the last 25 years, and they've always been entry-level people. They're pretty new out of school. They don't have any real-world experience. There's a lot of education that needs to be done. They know nothing about historic preservation usually, and all of that business. And then we have our historic preservation ordinance, which is not, that clear. And so we've had a lot of well-meaning young people, but as soon as they got 1 or 2 years under their belt, they're off to the next place. Because I did look at what the payment proposal was. It's pretty low. You know, I don't know who we're going to get in that senior planner position. But I would love to have somebody in-house, you know, that you could talk to. So I just want to make those comments that we need to be realistic. We're not going to get any senior person, you know. And then I do have a concern about building inspection. Having our code enforcement officer doing that. Apparently he's really into code enforcement. And I'm just concerned that we should have somebody in that position that has some real world experience. You know, you can't just take out a ruler and say, oh, you're off by 1/4 of an inch or something like that, you know. So I understand we need to save money, but that's the one that I'm kind of wondering about. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Any other questions?
See no other speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Any further council comments?
Great work as always, Ashley.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez? Thank you. No, looking forward to our June meeting. Thank you. So we're making a motion here to to provide the direction to staff regarding the proposed organizational structure and related staffing adjustments for incorporation to fiscal year 2025-26 budget. So we're making a motion tonight to incorporate the proposed organizational structure and related staffing adjustments for incorporation. May I have a as read. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Councilmember Morris Lopez. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Sorry, hang on. Thank you. Fire Protection Services status update and council direction. City Manager Ashley Colick.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, members of the public. I'm here to give an update tonight on fire protection services for the city of San Juan Bautista. I'm not going to rehash. We have a lot of history on this particular item, so for the benefit of the public, I'm not going to rehash everything that's happened. But we can send you what you need if you need me to send you more information. I absolutely will. So just a brief background, San Juan Bautista currently receives fire services under contract with the city of Hollister. And Hollister issued a 270-day termination notice on March 25th of 2025, and which essentially means that our contract with Hollister will end on December 20th of this year. That puts us in a position of needing to ensure that we have fire protection services for the city. As you guys are aware, contract negotiations stalled. And on April 15th, our council directed staff to explore all options for fire protection services. And we also submitted a counter offer with San Benito County to Hollister to consider previously negotiated contracts and amounts. On May 5th, Hollister dissolved its ad hoc committee and ended option E negotiations. On May 6th, San Benito County announced recruitment of a county fire chief. And just for point of interest, as I've been working and trying to find other alternatives for San Juan Bautista and what we could do, one thing that I explored was whether CAL FIRE would be interested in coming in and using our fire station to help with fire services here. They've verbally estimated 8.2 million annually for fire services, which, as we are aware, is not feasible for San Juan Bautista this time. In the midst of all of this, the county they dissolved their ad hoc committee that was negotiating for the fire services contract with the city of Hollister, but they also formed a new ad hoc committee to explore the development of a county-wide fire services department. In the midst of that, they asked San Juan Bautista if we would be interested in attending those meetings to discuss some sort of a partnership with them in this endeavor. They have also approved the hiring of a fire chief to lead this effort. So this presents an opportunity for San Juan Bautista to consider tonight. Some of those opportunities include improved communication and command structure as we explore partnership, share access to shared resources and services with the county, enhanced grant eligibility for regional improvements, opportunities for cost sharing and infrastructure collaboration, and an ability to preserve the city's interests within a county-led framework. So to that end, a county fire chief, that when this person is hired, obviously, would lead the county-wide fire strategy, improve mutual aid and training coordination, enhance access to grants and capital investment, support shared services, and help us preserve our autonomy as a city. So tonight, my recommendation is that you authorize us to enter into a partnership, or at least begin that conversation with San Benito County on what a fire services partnership would look like, participate in the county fire chief recruitment process, and align with the county on service delivery models and cost sharing, and report back to the council with agreements and next steps. And with that, I'll take any questions you have.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda.
I don't think I really have any questions. I like where this is headed. So I think this is a really good step for San Juan Bautista, just so that we can maintain or have fire services. So I think it's a really good step. The only concern is, and I think this would be further down the road, would be if this becomes the headquarters for the county and this fire department. I don't know how we can do it, but I would like to see somewhere in the future agreement with where we have 4 firefighters staffed in that engine should something happen. Simply because I feel like a lot of our calls are going to be coming out of this station now, because we will be the headquarters, or the only station serving the county. So I just want to make sure we have enough support to support this community and our neighbors up the canyon should something happen. So I don't know if that's still something we can look at if they make this the headquarters fire department. I don't see how that'd be a hard thing to do, but that's the only comment I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No, I agree. I think this is a good step in the right direction, and I approve of pursuing the contract with the county. I feel like we're more in alignment with county as opposed to the city of Hollister. We do have a fire station here. I think this would really benefit our community to go forward with thinking out of the box. I mean, obviously we've hit a wall with our current contract with the city of Hollister, and grateful to them for the years that they did work with us. But I think at this time, we just have to move forward in a new direction and see where that takes us. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from the public in chambers?
Michael Ponce, 803 First Street.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Michael, sorry, is your light on?
Yes, I
Thank
gotta
you.
get closer.
Sorry.
No, I just have, I know this is very early in the process that, San Juan County is willing to work together on their own fire department. I haven't heard any numbers for our, proposed agreement with the county and San Juan. I know you just mentioned that, CAL FIRE estimated 8.2 for the service we're looking for. City of Hollister proposed, if I remember right, 6.9 million for the county and San Juan to work together. So I'm guessing that we're looking at something quite better than the 6.9 and 8.2 working together. I'm just wonder if there's a estimate right now that we're looking at. And I would hope that maybe one of the council members can continue my question, as I usually don't get the opportunity to get an answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Michael. Any other comments in chambers?
No other speaker cards received, but I do have a hand raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes.
Please state
Sure.
your name for the record.
Yes, David Rodriguez. Just a few comments regarding this topic. I'd like to just mention avenues that we may explore. I mean, it does sound like this is a positive step in the right direction to obtain services. I guess first you need to start with the fire chief and someone who's in command of the fire services. However, because we're limited on our budget and maybe so we can maybe curb some of the costs associated with those services, what I would like to throw out there, just kind of out of the box, is maybe exploring having the fire chief bring in some younger, maybe using it as a training center to bring in like maybe volunteer fire service, just to make sure we're covered, and to maybe obtain some new talent to curb those costs. And in terms of volunteers and I don't know, interns, just throwing that out there. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda.
No other comments or questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No other comments. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been an arduous task, going all the way back to March of last year. I appreciate all the work that's gone in forward with the ad hoc committee. And at the time, the interim city manager this was dropped into her lap. And the city of Hollister ultimately told the city of San Juan Bautista and the San Benito County to work together. And so we did. And this is where we're at today. And our job right now is to authorize the staff to work with the county on moving forward in a partnership for fire protective services. We have heard from the county that they want to hire a fire chief. And that's as far as we have gotten with conversations. So with this, we can now move forward with conversations So in that, may I have a motion to authorize staff to enter into a mutually beneficial partnership with San Benito County for Fire Protective Services?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Morris Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Do we need a quick break? Are we good? Yes, we need a quick break. Yes, we need a quick break. We're taking 5. I know, right? Gotta get a gummy in. Oh, that's a good one.
Around here.
I can look really quick. We're online, just saying. We're open. We're online. Thank you all. Welcome back. City managers report. Hold that one to the end.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the public. I do not have a huge report tonight, and I would love to push until our next meeting on June 4th. So I'll give a more fuller report. But I would like to just say thank you. The county actually adopted the memorandum of understanding between the city of San Juan Bautista and San Benito County and adopted a resolution regarding the processing of county planning applications within the city of Seaside's planning area. So huge.
City of San Juan Bautista.
City of, did I say Seaside? I am super sorry. Man, I don't miss those guys. Sorry, it's a 15-year habit. I do apologize. Well, hopefully that will not happen again. The city of San Juan Bautista's planning area, which is super exciting because this is a long process that a lot of people in the city and the council and the planning commissioners have been working on for a really long time. A huge thank you to the council for hiring me. I am honored, super honored to be a part of this really great community with a deep passion for history and not afraid to speak up and challenge each other. I'm excited to be a part of it and happy to contribute. So that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Questions from the council?
No questions. Disappointed about the Seaside mishap, but let's get. But other than that, thank you, and we're happy to have you on board.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
No, I am in agreement with Councilmember Rhonda. But 15 years is like, deeply ingrained. We'll excuse you. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much. Very much looking forward to the next 15. And super excited. Thank you to the Board of Supervisors. It was a 5-0 vote for approving our MOU. That's kind of huge for us. Fire Department, Chief. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief. Hang on one second. Go ahead.
I was going to say usually Roy Morales does this one, but we're going to push his reports to the next meeting as well.
Okay. Public comment. Thank you.
Sorry, Michael Potsy again.
Hi, Michael.
No, I just have, I just want to state for the record, I again am asking for the saltwater management report for the industrial users. I was informed earlier today that it is forthcoming, but I just want for the record that I'm asking for this report again. And I have asked for it since November of 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. So are we not receiving a report from the chief? No? Okay. That's totally fine. Sheriff's Department, Public Safety. Continued to next meeting. Reports from city council representatives to their regional organizations and committees. Councilmember Aranda.
Other than I just attended the AMBAG meeting and we were looking at the OWP. We're going over their highlights and
OWP?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The overall work program, sorry.
overall work
program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And looking at the budget and getting that going. And I don't think I had anything else that was huge. It was just a few other presentations about affordable, like energy programs for our area, which is great, and that they received, I think, a $36 million grant to make that happen. So it was a overall good meeting, but short-lived, like it was quick. So other than that, I don't think I've attended any other organizational events.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Oh, sorry. There is a sheriff deputy in the back of our room. Can he introduce himself when we had the sheriff's report? I don't think I've met him or the public.
Sure.
Sorry.
Nope, totally fine. Come on down.
He came back at
Please
6.
please press the big button to make sure the green light's on.
It's on. Hello, my name is Deputy Taylor Rivas with the San Benito County Sheriff's Office, and I'm here to help you guys with your meeting.
Thank you very
I
much.
don't have anything to report from the Sheriff's Office other than they wanted me to be here to help you guys, so happy to be here.
We
ask
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
What hours are your patrol? I'm just curious.
We work from 6 at night till 6 in the morning is my shift, and we also have a shift 6 in the morning to 6 at night, and then we have Deputy Desi, the San Juan Bautista deputy, who can't be here today. He's in a training. I believe he works, I think, 11 to 11.
Okay. And how do you like San Juan so far?
I love it. I was talking to the mayor.
Uh-huh.
I come from two small towns, policing prior. And so this feels like home.
What were those
being here.
towns?
I used to work for the city of Soledad and the city
yeah.
of Gonzales.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Down the road.
yes, actually, I was telling the mayor, my old police chief was a San Juan Bautista police officer back in the day. That's where he started his career. So I've seen the San Juan Bautista PD patch in his office. It's kind of cool.
Oh, wow. Who was that?
Keith Weiss,
Okay. I think I remember that name.
very, very tall guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember him? Yeah, he's still the chief of the city of Gonzales.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Councilmember Morris Lopez, you're up.
Okay, so I attended because I'm part of COG. Last Monday on May the 12th, the COG directors and the public were invited, and representatives from the stakeholders. We went out to actually a guided tour on a farm labor bus to look at the projected plan for one of the plans for Highway 25. And so we all met up at Fairhaven Farm, which is one of the biggest apricot and cherry farms still left in the county. And they were very gracious to host the meeting. And then, like I said, we got on a farm labor bus and they took all of us out to the sites. We drove through fields. They actually staged a bunch of white pickup trucks that showed us where this humongous road was going to go. And it cuts through a lot of prime ag land. And that was the whole purpose of us going out there, to show us like, hey, this is what this is going to look like. So we have not decided on that plan. I wasn't able to attend the regular COG meeting, which was, believe it was last Thursday. It was on the 17th. I got stuck at work, but I believe on that agenda, they were going to take a vote to throw that plan out, because there's talk about why not do the 4 lanes on the existing Highway 25. That's there, but then there are some stakeholders that it might take away some property, but clearly not to the breadth and the width and the destruction of our prime ag land. So I'm hoping, I haven't talked to the chair, but I'm hoping that they did vote to throw that plan out, which I'm sure Caltrans is not going to be happy, but this is really listening to the public and the stakeholders. And we really clearly wanted to make sure that Caltrans knew that this is our decision as a community, not theirs. And I think they're not our enemies. They work with us, but we wanted to make that known. We did interestingly go and listen to the same stakeholders on that tour bus. And they're talking about also maybe expanding the highway to what they call the commercial corridor, which is, I think it's San Felipe Road that goes right towards or past the airport and Amazon buildings, which would make sense because that's the industrial park. And there's a corridor, like the trucks are already coming from the valley on Highway 152. So it makes more sense to use maybe a roadway that's already there. But there's a lot of hoops that we still have to jump through because of county roads being converted to state roads and just a lot of stuff that still has to be worked out. But definitely we did not like the existing plan that people were just really talking about that would cut through the farmland. It was a very interesting meeting.
Thank you. Intergovernmental.
I thought you might talk about it.
Go ahead.
So the mayor and I were at our last intergovernmental meeting here. That was the first Thursday of the month or Wednesday of the Thursday? Wednesday. And so there was talk about moving that to quarterly. I think we voted on that, but we have one more special meeting. So we'll have another meeting in June. And that meeting we asked was to talk about the upcoming biker rally that Hollister is hosting. So that's really one of the things. And of course, the continuing topic of how to work with the houseless, homeless population. The county's already started their riverbed sweeps. We, as a city of San Juan, are trying to figure that out, but the intergovernmental is there to support all the entities. But I think the main topic is going to be the biker rally.
Yeah, we asked for the city manager for the city of Hollister just to give us an update on what's going on and what we might expect. I was at, LAFCO. LAFCO, we had a similar policy change where the city and the county will work together on development agreements. So it goes in really nicely with their 5-0 approval for our MOU agreement. And before it even comes to LAFCO, the county and either city are supposed to have conversations about agreements and develop standards and planning and zoning requirements within the sphere to ensure that the development occurs in a manner that reflects all of the entities, especially the city that's going to be taking something in. We also talked about rotation of the LAFCO meetings similar to intergovernmental. Some feel that LAFCO is a board commission. It is an entity in and of its own. So we will be moving it to each jurisdiction. It comes to San Juan in 27. And similar to our LAFCO growing pains, Cal LAFCO is going through the same thing right now. Hopefully not to the level that we saw, to make it bigger and better and stronger. That's all I have. Community calendar. Do you have anything, Jose? Councilmember Aranda, my apologies.
No worries. No, I don't, other than, well, no, it got tabled. I wanted to say the, what do you call it?
Okay, it was tabled. Okay, Councilmember Morris Lopez.
Nothing to add.
Thank you. Be safe out there, guys. Spirit of San Juan is celebrating 10 years. Fundraiser, Junior Giants, sign up now, sign up those littles. For the first time, Junior Giants is coming to the city of San Juan as its own entity. So we are very much looking forward to that. Thank you to Caitlin Brady and Michael Ponce and Joanna Morales for bringing that to us. And Beth Welch, who have all been doing an amazing job at trying to get that here, and it has arrived. First Friday mini makers mark. Oh, that already happened. Night market. Oh, next week, this coming weekend is the flea market at the VFW. Thank you very much. Oh, it was my next thing. There was one other thing. We have a farmer's market coming. I'm working on it. Hang on. Farmer's market is the last Sunday of the month, I believe, on the 300 block, on the 300 block of Third.
I did attend. It happened this
Oh,
Sunday.
it happened this past
And
Sunday.
it was very nice. It was small, but it was very nice. It was all organic farms.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. I think that's all I have. Anything else for the good of the city? No? Okay. Our next scheduled don't even worry about it. Thank you. Our next regularly scheduled meeting is Tuesday, June 17th. We do have a special meeting on June 4th. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Councilmember Morris Lopez, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Boris Lopez.
Yes.
And Mayor Jordan.
Yes, 8:29.